All right, the time's come for us to be able to create our switch policies. Now again, from the dashboard under system, we go to fabric, we go to the access policies. From the access policies, I'm going to engage with switch policies. So you can see policies, policy groups, and profiles. Now, as I said, if I wanted to implement profiles, I have the idea, if I wanted to implement policies, I can affect things like spanning tree. I can do control plane policing and configuration for leaves and spines. I can set up fiber channel SAN, fiber channel nodes. I can set up virtual port channel domains. I can set up bidirectional forwarding detection, net flow, a number of things to include fast link failover for rapid detection. But ultimately, like I said, I'm not going to, for the purposes of our labs, need to configure a policy that's going to affect my switches. And since I don't have one of those, I'm not going to need to create any policy groups. But again, I can create them on the basis of leaves and spines. So ultimately what I'm going to do is I'm going to need to create an actual profile, because remember, in the profile, that's where I'm going to designate the interface profiles that I configure for a given switch. Now, I can actually come through and create a leaf profile. That's all I'm going to worry about right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this demo 1. I'm going to call it leaf. We'll call it 101 because that's its actual number. And I'm going to select that leaf out of this drop-down list. Well, it's not a drop-down list. I'll just give it a name. I'll call it leaf 1. It is a drop-down list. It's just here. You have to click on it, and I'm going to say leaf 1. And that's my leaf selector. And we can see here under the leaf selector, what we're going to have is the ability to define a policy group. Now, when we take a look at the configuration here, that's really and truly all I need here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and look at the config, and you see here we actually have the associations, and what we have here is I've got the interface profile that I created for leaf 101. That's the one that I'm going to select. If I had a larger card or a larger switch that had modules in it, I could select the modules where I wanted to apply these configurations, but I don't, so I'm not really going to worry about it overly. So now what we've done is we've created demo leaf 101. Then what I'll do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to right click and I'm going to create another profile, and I'm going to call it demo leaf 102. And in this instance, I'm going to select the leaf. I'll call it leaf 2. I will select it from the drop down box for 2. And then we can see I could apply a policy group, but I don't need to. I'm going to hit next, and then I'm going to go to my association where I want to apply the interface policy for 102, and I have no modules, so I'm not going to be concerned with that. Now, with this being deployed and having these configurations set up and in place, if I were to double click over here, let's take a look at show usage. Notice we see here that this is actually being applied to node 101. So it says it's actually been associated to the given devices. So again here, show 102. This is leaf 102. Now I could create one. Let's say I wanted to create a policy where I could create a virtual port channel. I could say demo, and I could say 101 and 102. And what I could do is I could come in here and I could actually say 101, 102, and then select both switches. So click, click, and go ahead and hit next and update, and then next, And then what I could do is I could actually apply another policy. Let's say I had a VPC policy here. I could actually apply it there. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and cancel, but I did want to make certain that you're aware that this is an option. So with this being said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this portion of the demo, and then what I want to do is I want to go through and do a verification to make certain that everything is working. I'll see you guys in that video.